My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. It is 6:47 a.m. on Wednesday, April 20, 2022. The entity stalking via the people of the state, and specifically stalking with amplified plane engines as I'm proceeding, walking east on what would be Emporia. And the entity is stalking in the path via the people. And I want to document third parties while the entity is using plane engines as ongoing, incessant, audible activity while the people of the state are group stalking in the path. License plate 7SDT183, 7H52579, 8JSZ778, 4GXR267, 41232G3, 6W95404, 7R393L6. And this demon that's accessing this truck that you hear, he's pacing back and forth. Metal, the sound of metal while he's pacing back and forth on the truck. Cova Construction Incorporated, California 509221, license number 98635. And the license on that vehicle is 88823J3. 6MNR701, 83171U2. That's a demon that's stalking with audible activity. And while he's engaging in group stalking, the entity's sounding plane and like it's Vietnam while walking down the street. License 8YIR531, 87738V2, 8AVC674, 8XUK842, 7H48637, 4VGC000. And it is 6:49 a.m. 5UHH989. City of Ontario, 127-897, substantially similar. That's City of Ontario though. License 18171K3. 8M66698, 6DTW279, 4YKF187, 7L89387, BU39Z20. Understand what it is that the significance of every license plate. These are demons that are pacing one after another, after another, after another. This is entirely demonic, what I'm documenting as I document it. Understand what they're actually engaging in this demonic pacing as a group, as they're driving by in a vehicle. 8UEL167. They are not separate. This is a group that's acting together. JWN852. It's 6:50 a.m. 7REB160. 8ELL684. 8SRH564, I believe. (96708T2), 8WAM125. Now these demons are pacing. You have them driving in opposite directions at the same time. This is pacing as well. This is demonic what they engage in. They're a group acting together. 6T89188. License 8NTA921, 8VPR897, 8VYZ930, 8PUH439, 6HCW259, 6:52 a.m. 77283A1, BF64Z35 paper. Um, 98HR04, 98HR004, 7WHP097, 6ZEG781, and it's 6:53 a.m. 8SSC662, 8FCX047, 6GZW225. And this is the obsessive group stalking conduct by the people of the state, as the state also demonstrates obsession while it is stalking, as I documented again last night in a video. And the entity is demonstrating, revealing what is obsession. This is terrorism, while a government is engaging in this dark obsession, which is demonstrated by your incessant stalking by helicopters flying repeatedly and incessantly around in a circle, amplifying helicopter, audible activity of helicopter, and amplifying audible activity reminiscent of the sound of helicopter, while that demon, representing the government with access to helicopters, flying in circles incessantly, as I captured that in video. The people of the state are of that same condition, and this is obsessive group stalking that they are engaging in, as I'm documenting one demon after another. It is the same entity. 6DNU247. And these demons are lined up in relevant position at Mercy House, monitoring. It's 6:54 a.m., 7XXE789. And they're also inside of Mercy House monitoring. It is 6:54 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is UPS. In the same way that UPS is hovering over the museum, it's not taking off here. This is group stalking by planes, hovering where it is that I am at. The entity hovering by FedEx over Brian's Automotive. The entity hovering by Southwest Airlines over 150 East Holt. And the entity is hovering over Mercy House, okay? This is P.O.C. That's amplified audible activity. It's 7:01 p.m. 7:01 a.m., excuse me. Ignacio. 7:02 a.m. All right, monitoring. Let's see, this would be license plate. 8HQW946, 7FJV146. This is at Mercy House. What's up with you?
What's up with you? How you been? I'm asking you how you been.
I'm well.
Yeah?
Yeah. Bathroom's open though, right?
So for the bathroom, you can open it for, let me go.
Oh, this is the shower area, right?
This is the shower, but you can come in through here. So right here, there's like a little lock. That door opens and it'll take you to the bathroom. Okay. Just when you're done, make sure you lock it from this side.
Okay.
Okay?
That's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is a documentation of what is federal stalking by entity in the bathroom as well. Okay. The same companies that are the people of the state, Mercy House, the people of the state, these minions that are on the grounds, the people of the state, driving around the people of the state, engaged in ongoing surveillance and group stalking in a bathroom. And that's the significance of what I just captured on video, so I want to document that. This is the entity engaged in groups. That's documentation of what is federal stalking by entity in the bathroom. It is 7:07 a.m. and this is at Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview. All right, I want to document 8:49 a.m. P.O.C. while I'm in the laundry room at 435 South Bombview. This is ongoing terrorism at this venue. And you have the group stalker that is working here, engaging in group stalking while being paid or whatever his, I don't know exactly who's being paid, but I know that he's here administering services under the name of what is Mercy House, in the name of Mercy House. And this minion walks into the laundry room and asks me a stupid question, which is nothing other than presence and audible activity with simultaneity to the entity that is hovering by airplane. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct. This is the minion that is stalking at the intersection of Transit and Plum. The entity is at the same time while this minion is group stalking presence in the path and telling me about, do you want to, I have some ministry, while he's engaging in satanic conduct, by the way. But nonetheless, this is a group stalker at the same time that FedEx hovers over Brian's Automotive. This is the same conduct that Ignacio just engaged in, 8:49 a.m. This is group stalking while I'm at the laundry area section at the property, which is on surveillance camera. This demon is engaging in conduct which is in sync with the entity that is patrolling. These are demons that are patrolling via airplane, okay? It's 8:50 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is terrorism, as Mercy House is engaging in and participating in. And by the way, that's always the case where the entity is placing a light source, where directed light is present, where the entity is stalking by plane and helicopter. Even if you're talking about if that demon just sat in the office all day and did not engage in going out of his way to come and cross paths, going out of his way to engage in this demonic POC, they are participating. That's why the environment follows. That's why the entity is stalking by planes and helicopters, because the people of the state are engaging in it. That's what group stalking is, but I just want to point that out. It's 8:51 a.m. This is seconds later. I just captured video. It's 11:21 still. And just as you see in video, they're literally flying seconds apart, flying over and over, flying in U-turns, just engaging in what is patrolling where I am at, which is at Mercy House. That's group stalking using commercial airline planes. That's the conduct of the psychopath that's an obsessed stalker. And the people of the state are equally obsessed, engaging in monitoring with the entity that's using planes to engage in stalking. It's 11:22 a.m. All right, the minion that you see positioning, coming inside in order to maintain presence with her communication device, coming inside. This is a demon, okay? Coming inside to sit beside me. This is group stalking while she enters in the venue with knowledge of the fact that she's being documented. This is the people of the state. This is demonic activity, and that's ongoing terrorism, the obsessive stalker, and that is engaging in what is coming inside, which I'm referencing the surveillance cameras while that demon does so. But I just want to be clear, coming in and sitting next to me, just looking up at the ceiling, holding her phone in position, okay, monitoring. It's 11:23 a.m. This is the same engagement in audible activity creation. This is the criminal, Union Pacific, which is also a sex offender to be prosecuted as a company engaging in terrorism, using planes and trains in directed light under a fake sun to engage in monitoring with the people and as the people. It's 11:24 a.m. It is 11:25 a.m. This is P.O.C. at Mercy House. Demons surround, engaging in group stalking under a fake sun that's over the property. And remember, Upland Public Library is just a single example as to what is not possible with the sun that's over the roof of that library. And all I do is remain in Ontario and go to yet another venue and just show you what is not possibly the sun and what is blatant stalking and demonic stalking with an entire environment. And that's what these demons are all doing. They're all sex offenders. The ones you see, as I'm documenting these companies, they're monitoring while my panties are down, engaging in massive surveillance. The same conduct while I'm in a bathroom. This demon is pacing, stalking with light, 84180E3. It's 11:25 a.m. 90832K2. This is ongoing harassment by an entity engaged in P.O.C. All right, this is the Vietnam type conduct that they're engaging in over what is supposedly a shelter services venue. All right, called Mercy House. Terrorism, demonic activity, and that's Amazon Prime. Not taking off in the same way that they're not taking off over the museum, in the same way that they're not taking off over the Starbucks at Ramona and Holt Avenue in Pomona, California. in Montclair, California, in the same way that they are not taking off over 150 East Holt, the public county building, where the entity's keeping a fake sun directly over my head, while you also see those commercial planes, which is a use of an entire plane to engage in group stalking me. Okay, it's the pattern of conduct, and this is at 435 South Bonneview. This is terrorism at Mercy House in Ontario, California. This is documentation of what is federal stalking by an entity in the bathroom, the sex offender, group stalking me while my panties are down. As I captured on video, flying one plane after another, making U-turns, using the train, all manner of this is what these demons are doing while I'm in the bathroom. All right, that's exactly what they're doing, monitoring me, group stalking. All right, as I make any move with knowledge that I'm getting physically undressed, what I'm doing in the bathroom, absolutely psychotic and sexually predatory conduct by these demons who are coming in and out, sitting next to me, monitor. That's what they're doing while they're surrounding the bathroom building itself, monitoring. All right, and this is also what is understanding not only harassment by an entity, this is terrorism while you're engaging in group stalking, demonic activity as an entity, and you're engaging in what is the ongoing pattern of conduct on behalf of the state. This is the state of California engaging in this conduct. This is the maniacal conduct at what is Mercy House, which is not the first time, documenting what is nothing other than ongoing state surveillance and terrorism, yet again, at what is Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview, on the internet, also referred to as the Ontario Access Center. This is criminal conduct. And they are monitoring with communication devices while the entity is surrounding their venue. They're group stalking and light, and they are demons. That's their condition. Every single last one of them that work here, Bianca, Gail, Ignacio, they are all monitoring, and they're all of that same condition. 8VXU 786, 4WVC 424, and I think I read this one. It was here earlier, at least. So I want to get that. License 7UIZ 442. That's a license plate. And that's the entity also, that's the sex offender that's monitoring me while my panties are down, stalking by helicopter, just like they were last night. All right, and that's documentation what I'm going to prosecute Judy for. Judy is in charge of what is this Ontario Access Center, Mercy House, which is nothing other than a third party, sponsoring state surveillance and terrorism, monitoring me with that government that's stalking by helicopter, engaging in multiple acts of criminal summoning, doing so in concert with the minions that work at this venue, which is Mercy House, and engaging in what is terrorism. She will go to federal prison for that. And this is years of documentation of documenting Judy and Mercy House. So while the entity engages in that show of hostility and that show of terrorism, which is that's serving for the prosecution of Ignacio, of Gail, those demons that are sitting inside of the building right now, engaging in terrorism the entire time. Let me be clear, they're monitoring right now, and I will prosecute those demons that are listening to me document them right now, because that's what they're witnessing. They're witnessing their prosecution while the entity flies over me by helicopter and by United Airlines, Southwest Airlines, UPS, all right, and engaging in what is Amazon Prime, engaging in what is ongoing patrolling. Those are demons flying airplanes and helicopters right now. That's P.O.C. And you're listening to the frequency. It's 11:29 a.m. Okay? I captured video less than 8 minutes ago. This is one plane after another after another. That's patrolling. It's demonic. And that is Frontier Airlines flying over as well. 7DDH 468. It's not just Mercy House. Let me be clear. These demons, that will also go to federal prison. At Medina's Auto Body, those are demons which they've also demonstrated. They're fully engaged in the P.O.C. And they are in relevant position. But like I said, I've also demonstrated them engaging in what is ongoing harassment and monitoring and molestation while I'm documenting. So they're not in any way passively engaging in what is terrorism. And they are in relevant position nonetheless. At 424 Bonneview, 7ROL123. That's a license plate. All right, so the entity, as you heard, that was a black helicopter, by the way. Doing just like what the plane that I captured on video, just engaging in a U-turn right here over in relevant position. That's what the entity is doing. Understand the significance of making a U-turn. It's just relevant positioning. They're crossing path. That's what group stalking is. It's demonic, and they do so in this engineered light. Satan is engaging in what is pacing around and doing it through a people. And this is the conduct of a psychopath, and you're understanding the freak weirdo that is the demonic. The objective is to pace all around a person in this engineered light, which is surrounding you, and it's also this ritualistic conduct. It is also achieving what is ongoing surveillance, because these demons that are maintaining presence, and they do so in the United States, group stalking by planes and helicopters and in their vehicles and wherever it is that they live. You have the entity that is doing so in this ongoing environment, regardless of that type of venue. I happen to be at what is Mercy House, and they're engaging in ongoing P.O.C. And that helicopter activity, as I just captured again on my podcast, is occurring under what is the fake sun that is not possibly over the roof of Upland Public Library, let alone the Fontana Lewis Library. It is certainly not over Route 66 while I'm on the bus coming from what is Pomona, California, or Chino, California. It's not in any way coexisting with being over me while I'm at Victoria Gardens on Route 66 or while I'm on Route 61 headed toward Fontana. All of this is documented. The entity is engaging in the P.O.C. and this is terrorism that these minions are engaging in with that government. That's why the entity is here. And the entity is here by virtue of capturing what is the light source, the impossible placement of that light source over my head at that. Okay, which is in no way coexisting with being over any roof of Fontana Lewis Library, over the roof of the Upland Public Library, let alone remaining in relevant position over 280 North Lemon Apartments in perfect alignment with the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library. It is, and also this is, you're talking about economy, and everywhere that I have remained, and I've shown what the entity is doing, stalking with a fake sun. And this time last year, the entity was keeping a fake sun over economy in at 2301 South Euclid Avenue. 8HQW946. 6HRX109, 6RBC257, 7FJV146, and 8BHG899. Those are the minions parked inside of the gates of Mercy House, engaging in terrorism while the entity, again, this is the psychopath. That's the personality. Understand the pattern as I document it. As I point out, as I capture evidence of what is the P.O.C., which is, again, this is speaking to the personality because the pattern of conduct is already established. What the government is doing, it is no longer what the government is doing has been placed in plain sight for all of the world to witness. You're witnessing what is a psychopath. As I capture evidence of Satan, that's what you just witnessed. You had another plane and another plane and another plane and another plane and then a helicopter, 7CLH252. These are demons that are pacing. And that's exactly what captured, and it's based on, yes, they are stalking. These are demons. It's demonic activity centered all around me. And I'm also reminding you while I'm capturing that, that's the sex offender that's monitoring while my panties are down. And that's what you're mindful of. And that's exactly the prosecution for the people. But not only that, you have what is the entity engaging in that rise of maniacal conduct as I documented at Mercy House. Okay. And that's what you're being reminded about, where I'm at and what's ongoing, and the ongoing knowledge with which they act. 6JPM038. And this is Vietnam type conduct at Mercy House. And this demon stalking with light, this is Ignacio. Bye! While they're group stalking, driving out of the parking lot in order to engage in the P.O.C. All right, Ignacio and the heavyset male with the blue jacket on. 8HQW946 is the vehicle that they drive out of. I can't recall that the other guy's name. He is documented inside of Mercy House. They're group stalking as they get in a vehicle to exit the driveway and cross path. They're doing so under the fake sun. Those are demons. They're psychopaths that are also engaging in that conduct while they're being documented. All right, that's a very serious federal charge with regard to the ways in which you're going to prosecute the demon-possessed entity engaging in state surveillance. It's currently 11:34 a.m. This is occurring under what is the fake sun that's over Mercy House, which is exactly what I just captured approximately maybe 10 minutes ago now. And then what I capture on my podcast is the psychopath and the violent sex offender that then engages in one more plane after another, after another, after another, and then helicopter. Okay, that's the pattern. That's the pattern. 42114D2. This is P.O.C. License 8PLA 434. GKS 441. ABT 497. This is a group stalker who's maintaining presence sitting in the middle of the street. This demon's vehicle is not actually malfunctioning. This is demonic. They're under the fake sun. It's entirely pathetic, and I took a picture of that. This is license plate 7UTA200. That's a Latino male wearing a black beanie. sitting in the middle of the street. He's maintaining presence while I walk down the street and no other traffic is coming. License plate 6HGV986. GTPERS. 4OFKIND. Student Transportation of America 7HOD460. That's an African American female with her hair tied back in a bun. Got a red and white face mask on. 6VFY633. And she is driving north on Bonneview, crossing path. 6WXN887. 05862U2. 7YPZ650. 27215C3. It's 11:38 a.m. Latino male, black t-shirt, 8TEF610, driving a Lexus, the four-door Lexus. It's like a lavender purple. And that's an old Lexus. It must be like a 90s or early 2000s Lexus. Stalking with light is City of Ontario. 1410308, vehicle 5568, utility truck, license plate 8WNV280, Latino male, heavy set, thick face, dangly earring on his left ear. Latino male, beard and mustache, license 8WAM125. 8YIY458. And it is currently 11:39 a.m. VICKIEB. That is on a black Corvette. Yeah. 6POF099. An Omnitrans is pacing on Holt Boulevard and crossing path at this time, 11:39 a.m., going both directions. 5GGK467, 5YOK489, 8VKA396. Alrighty, capturing video of what is the demonic conduct of that is captured through the environment itself. Not only through what is the presence over my head of what is not possibly the sun, stalking with light, which is demonic, serving the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring. While demons are surrounding, they are group stalking in that environment that surrounds you. Also, I'm showing you what in the video is significant with regard to what you are also witnessing, which is in no way any sort of preclusion to the targeted individual, 8E24699. It is no preclusion to the targeted individual's ability to establish the prima facie case. Because you're dealing with the demonic, you're dealing with Satan. 4JGM485. And I just captured on podcast and in video, yet again, which I don't even need, the pattern of conduct is already established. I'm showing what is, again, the conduct of the entity. You're dealing with Satan, first of all, and you're also dealing with the government. This is highly malicious. And so while I'm showing you what is the pattern, the entity is keeping a fake sun over me, and you're witnessing demonic control over the environment, all right, and doing so as I leave from the venue of Mercy House, and the fake sun remains over my head, just covering with clouds. Okay, 7VQW800. And this is, you're being confronted with what is recognizing demonic activity. The ongoing real-time knowledge of Satan itself while I'm revealing the devices of Satan and the minions of Satan. which include the Ontario Fire Department crossing path right now on Allen, 5ZBN 702. And so while the entity is covering up that light source, which I captured directly over my head at Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview, which is a scientific fact that that's not the sun that would be over my head at both properties, meaning the Upland Public Library. And remember, I captured video at 11:09 a.m. yesterday as I arrived at the Upland Public Library. And when I was inside of the venue, I took pictures as I'm walking in. And you're looking at that directed light that's on the staircase on the upper floor. I'm already inside of the Upland Public Library yesterday. That is not going to be seen over the roof of the Upland Public Library where I just captured this video right now. And while I remain inside of the Upland Public Library. So you're also looking at what is the directed light in this video that I captured, because there's not going to be, first of all, it's directed light. You're looking at what is the pattern of the little wooden patio that's over the door. It's outside of the door. It's not inside of the building. And you're also looking at how is that pattern going to appear on the inside of the building through the door, because it's directed light. That's why. And it's also not going to occur while the entity is keeping what is not possible. If that was the sun, in other words, over the roof of the Upland Public Library, then it's not creating any light, which is supposedly over the front door of Mercy House, and that's creating the light with the pattern of the wooden patio above, the wooden covering over the door of the Mercy House venue. That's not going to be the case because the light source is over the Upland Public Library. If that was the sun, because it's not possibly over and creating some sort of sunlight that's creating the pattern such that it's directly over Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview when it's directly over my head when I am inside of the Upland Public Library, because the entity is aiming light inside of the Upland Public Library such that sunlight is resulting from that sun that you see directly over my head while I'm inside of that venue, where I remain for the duration of the day as of 10 o'clock in the morning on the 18th, where I remain for the duration of the day as I remain entering at approximately 11:15, if not a couple minutes earlier than that. And I'm capturing video today as approximately 11:23, 11:24. This is why I'm capturing this video, where I'm in Ontario still. And the entity is keeping a fake sun over me at Mercy House directly over my head. And you're looking at what is, again, directed light, not just at that front door. Pay attention while I'm capturing that video, because I'm showing you the directed light inside, while you're hearing the audible activity of the amplified plane, which is Southwest Airlines. And that is, again, breaking down. The entity is using this is a demon-possessed third party that is flying an entire commercial plane to engage in stalking me. That's group stalking. All right, and doing so while the entity is engaging in this conduct while I am at the venue of what is relevant, Mercy House, 435 South Bonneview. License 54307F2, and again, as a matter of evidence, where the entity engaged in rising, and I put that in air quotes, rising a fake sun on March 14, 2022. And it's over my head at 11. But again, this is documented because I go to Fontana after 12:36 p.m. where I captured video. And this is understanding at no point would the light source ever be over Upland Public Library. This is already established, or the Fontana Lewis Library. You're talking about the actual sun. All right. This is speaking to an impossibility. This is speaking to what is stalking with light. License 8PHL 772. Rider is group stalking. License plate 3155672. Indiana license plate. 8RGW 200-1606-273. That is California OES 6605 is the number on the back of that fire truck. And it does not look like City of Ontario fire, but that's the license plate nonetheless, and it is the state acting directly. And they are crossing paths. 7DNU 062. 8BKU 628, and it is currently 11:49 a.m. 8DMG 864. And while I'm standing at this intersection of Bonneview and Hope Boulevard, the entity is, the fake sun is right over my head as I'm walking down the street. As I stated, remains the case. And you're aware of what is no change from the pattern of conduct as you are establishing the prima facie case against an entity, a demonic entity that is monitoring as a public entity. Okay? It's the state of California. And both entities are engaging in this conduct. It's a demon-possessed public entity monitoring directly and vicariously the people of the state who are crossing paths while the entity keeps the fake sun that is being covered up. And immediately, seconds later, it is revealed, and it is in an impossible placement over my head at the intersection of Holt Boulevard and Allen. Okay? 53565H3. 6ZVL839, 8VXA231. And as a matter of documentation, again, showing you what is that light source at 10:43 a.m. while I'm at Methodist, First United Methodist, on the Route 83 bus moving north up Euclid Avenue. You are definitely seeing that light source that is necessarily moving in order to maintain that central presence over my head while I'm on Route 83, despite the fact that I was already in the library, Upland Public Library, my destination, the day prior to that. I was already there as of 10 o'clock. Oh, excuse me, 9 o'clock specifically. But you have nonetheless yesterday as I am inside on the bus, and I'm riding Route 83. And this is, again, doing so at a later hour, showing you what is stalking with light, what would be impossible, the placement of the light source remaining at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts at 10 o'clock in the morning, when I'm already in the Upland Public Library at 10 o'clock in the morning the day before. Today, as I remain in Ontario at Mercy House, the entity keeping a fake sun over me, 7VLN316, keeping that fake sun over me while Amazon Prime, Frontier Airlines, United Airlines, Union Pacific, and the state acting directly group stalking with a helicopter, and doing so while the entity is also group stalking via Southwest Airlines, creating audible activity, using planes and trains and helicopters while that light source remains directly over my head. An impossible occurrence with what is documented while the light source is seen through the roof of the Upland Public Library, and that's that ongoing analysis, and that's how that documentation is related, because this is not the sun, and this is speaking to what is the inconsistent placement. And not only is it inconsistent with regard to its placement when I'm in the city of Ontario, where I am in the city of Ontario, and when I'm in the city of Upland, and where I specifically am in the city of Upland, in addition to the entity keeping this light source squarely above my head wherever I am in the city of Ontario, and at the same time wherever I am in the city of Upland. And that's just because I'm going to the Upland Public Library, because this precedes my going to the Fontana Lewis Library. None of this is coexisting with being anywhere over the Fontana Lewis Library. All right, I'm getting on public transportation in the morning, and for over the past month and a half, as of late, going to the Fontana Lewis Library. And while the entity is keeping a fake sun over me as I go to Upland Public Library, and showing you stalking with a fake sun as I go to that Upland Public Library at different times of the day, going there yesterday 2 hours later than the day prior, you have what is the entity keeping a light source over me. And that in and of itself, none of that. Not only is the entity not, the actual sun not over the Upland Public Library and over me at the county building in the city of Ontario at the same time, it's also not over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library and over me at the county building at 1647 West Hall Boulevard and over my head at the Upland Public Library in that same central manner. That is not the actual sun. That's stalking with light, and it's demonic. And what I captured walking from Mercy House is the pattern of Satan itself, which is exercising real-time control over the environment while covering up a fake sun that remains directly over my head. It is in no way a preclusion to establishing the prima facie case. Capturing the demonic remains the demonic, 8VTG493, and that is also common sense. When you are capturing something that is impossible as the maintenance of a light source over you all day long, all right, that's not going to change on the next day. And it's also not going to change because it's maybe all of a sudden a cloudy day the next morning. That doesn't change. 88WB017, and I've shown you that is the pattern. 8UNE886, and it is also the pattern that seconds later you're talking about what is the vacillation of that weather. And it's based on what I'm doing, and it's based on what I'm revealing. And that's also why you have seconds later as I walk across the street and go to particularly the westbound side of Route 61, while the entity is looking at where it is that I'm going, covering up its fake sun, showing it. It's a prosecution of the Upland Public Library. It's a prosecution of the city of Fontana. It's a prosecution of the whole entity, regardless of what direction I go. What I'm capturing for you, what you are witnessing, what I'm breaking down is that you need to understand that you're dealing with Satan, and you're dealing with what is, in other words, highly malicious conduct. You're dealing with what is a psychopath that's literally sitting back and watching what I'm doing and with knowledge of what I'm revealing about it. All right, covering up its fake sun it's not slowing down the prosecution of every single last one of those meetings. Stephanie Ortiz is going to federal prison while I'm in the city of Upland and documenting what is the maintenance of a fake sun over the roof of that library, which would never be the case while the entity was keeping what is not possibly the sun, because it's not over the Fontana Lewis Library, while it's over my head over the Upland Public Library. She's going to federal prison. While the entity covers up a fake sun that remains over my head, it is speaking to the ways in which Stephanie Ortiz is worthy of going to federal prison. She's a highly malicious and a psychopath engaging in this group stalking system, which is of the demonic. That's what it is. Speaking to what is an impermissible threat. That's what it is. It serves for prosecution of this entity. It is in no way slowing down that prosecution. I'm showing you what is the conduct of a psychopath and covering up that fake son that I just captured minutes earlier. This is the treachery of these demons. I just captured video of it, and I have years of documentation of it. 05202G2, City of Ontario, 1442405. All right, and so this is literally the same street that I'm on as I go to the county building in the morning, just the other day. Okay, that was yesterday. This is the same street. I have to get on this street on Route 61 to get to the county building at 6047, where I showed you at 9:10 a.m. the fake sun was over me. All right, but it is 11:55 in the morning, and it's right here over my head. 7CBZ 953. That's harassment by an entity engaging in the pattern of conduct. So this is speaking to, again, the asinine tactics and what is also short-sighted, BTXK825. What is also lacking the ability to understand what is the greater picture with regard to what shall be the prosecution of an entire entity. You are stalking by helicopters, you're stalking with directed light, you're stalking with commercial airline planes, all manner of terrorism, and you're doing so in a specifically maintained environment, which is fully documented as to what you're doing, and then covering up your fake son as I walk away from that venue where I just documented that, as though the helicopter activity, the ongoing pattern of stalking by helicopter, even the entity stalking again incessantly by helicopter last night is somehow going to be forgotten, and it's just absolutely has nothing to do like that's. So, and this is what I mean by short-sighted and woefully unprepared for what is the prosecution of an entity and the revealing of what is the conduct of Satan, what Satan is doing in the world, and specifically in the U.S. through the people of the state, a demon-possessed population. These are puppets of Satan, and you're revealing what is relevant for prosecuting them. Malice. All right, the impermissible threat. Federal prison. 31923N1, and that's exactly where they're going. All right, and that's exactly what is worthy when you're witnessing what is, again, their tactics. It's revealing malice, and it's also asinine. It is also very short-sighted, okay? But it is speaking to what is a psychopath that's literally sitting back and surveying evidence as it's being accumulated against that entity. You're going to surround that entity with legislation, all right? Because the government's not going to engage in that and get away with that. That's conduct of a psychopath. That's a threat that you put in a cage, okay? 02677T1. That's what you do with that. So this is the entity engaging in that pattern of conduct. And as I cross literally to the opposite side of the street, the fake sun remains over my head, and it is blaring in all of its essence. It was still the fake sun while I was showing you that light source. It is stalking with light. Understand the big picture. The fake sun, it's nothing other than stalking with light, in the same way that the people of the state, demons, molest with directed light. Stalking with light. State surveillance. That's what group stalking is. License 8UNZ989. 32554J3. And again, this is punctuating what is documentation of state surveillance and terrorism at third-party facilitating venue, Mercy House, also referred to as the Ontario Access Center, at 435 South Bonneview, where every single last one affiliated, employed, and entering, they are all demons engaging in this criminal system. 70284H1, and that's why I captured every single last hallmark, not just today, but as a matter of documentation, a matter of long existing record at that venue, where they're engaging in this egregious and reprehensible demonic activity, which is criminal. 91STPPN. All right, it is currently 11:58 a.m. GOLF4DN. And you're going to remember my video that I captured at 11:09 a.m. And as I did capture that video, it's also a reference to what is impossible while I'm in Chino, California. And I'm standing at the doors preparing to enter the Chino Branch Library. That's why I captured that video, because it's also relevant to what Danielle Landeros, that's a minion with a law office in relevant position, engaged in the same demonic system of surveillance, while she is, as a matter of trade, an attorney. Okay, 8SHY941. That's why the fake sun was over my head as I stood in front of her address in Chino, California, 8ZWZ704. That's why the entity was molesting, okay, that demon, Landeros, and every demon working in that law office, and every demon around that law office at 11:04 a.m., where then I walked to the Chino Branch Library at 11:09, and the fake sun was directly over my head. That is not over the front doors of the Upland Public Library in Upland, California, where I did not get on any bus proceeding to the Chino Branch Library. I got on Route 83, which went northbound, and I got off at the 7-Eleven. That same 7-Eleven where the entity kept a fake sun until after 6:30 p.m. All right, this is how all that documentation is tethered together, because I can go on and on with that chain of speaking with stalking with light. And Landeros, It doesn't matter what her trade is. She is nothing other than a demon-possessed group stalker who is an attorney in this state that's engaged in state surveillance and terrorism. In addition to my having worked with these demon-possessed attorneys who are practicing law in the state of California, engaged in this demonic system. 8NMR 529, 8WCS 584, 86318Z2. And that's why that light source, by the way, was over me at 11:09 a.m. An impossible coexisting occurrence that it would be over me at 11:09 a.m. in Chino, California. All right, that's the P.O.C. Alrighty, this is bus 2354. It's Route 61. It's going westbound on Hope Boulevard, and the light source remains over the bus going in this direction up the same Hope Boulevard that I was on at yesterday as I went to the accounting building, and this is before 8 o'clock in the morning. So it is 12 in the afternoon, and as I get on the bus, the entity is again not flying over what is Mercy House at 435 South Bonneview. The entity is stalking with commercial airline planes and flies directly over this intersection where I'm standing at. This is in front of the U-Haul, and that's the intersection of Bonneview and Hope Boulevard where I was standing, where the bus is arriving. This is the entity that is stalking from place to place in airplanes, using entire commercial airline planes to engage in stalking in the same way that they are gassing up helicopters and stalking. And this is the profound methods employed, profoundly depraved, okay? And this is capturing what is terrorism. And so as I get on the bus at 12:03 p.m., that is what is ongoing, and the entity flying directly over it. That's the Dollar General. This is group stalking by plane. So they're moving as I move, which I've shown for years. This is where I started my documentation, the stalking conduct of the entity itself as it acts directly. So it is currently, by the way, 12:03 p.m. And
Ontario
the entity is keeping that light source over the venue that is the moving vehicle itself. This is bus number 2354, and it's 12:03 p.m. going up Hope Boulevard. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is Omnichan's license plate 1545685. That's a demon using the bus, stalking with audible activity. The fake sun is over the bus. That's an African-American male operating with no employee number displayed. Again, that's bus 2354, license 1545685, and monitoring with the demons that are getting on the bus where I'm getting off, crossing a path, and engaging in what is contrary to their posted rules. Now, when I am doing anything, for example, actually abiding by rules, you have them literally trying to make up rules and showing what is a problem with what has absolutely nothing to do with them and what is absolutely lawful, and what I'm going to do regardless, which is document these demons and prosecute them. But you have what is in violation of their existing rules. While someone is getting off the bus, you're supposed to wait. You don't get on the bus, and you don't invade their space also with regard to what's supposedly COVID. All right, you have in every way what is crossing a path, and they are intrusive demons engaging in that conduct, and this is harassment by an entity because they're monitoring. Understand that. And it is also relevant for what is necessary crossing a path conduct, and that's also why the bus drivers do not address that or enforce it. This is the necessary crossing a path conduct, and so I just want to document that, and I do also capture that demon's image, who's engaging in that conduct, not letting me off the bus first before that demon wants to cross path and be on the bus for purposes of what is group stalking conduct. So I just want to provide context. That's the image I just took. It's 12:06 p.m. and I did get off of that bus, and you hear that demon lifting the bus up and doing so repeatedly, and then using the lift also. This is and then honking the horn. He's creating multiple methods. He's creating noise and engineered light. The fake sun is right over the bus. Okay, I just got off at Lemon and Holt, and that demon is sitting at a red light listening to me document him. License 5VES 486 is the same demon possessed entity. They're monitoring together. 8FYD 299, 8PCH 766. License 7VEV 174, 7TCB 546. It is 12:06 p.m. (7FRS 594), 8L 87219, 3F 07254. All right, license plate 00140R2, 8BLL 142, 44044F3, 30364F3, 8XDC464, 6GYD861, 6FTZ318, 7KXN408, they're demons, every single last one of them. This is demonic activity. They're demons that are engaging in the maintenance of presence around me. They're doing so in what is engineered light. That's the significance, that's the purpose of keeping a light source that's not even the actual sun. And this is not sunlight, it's engineered light. And they're stalking, pacing around me, 6FUR947, in that deliberately maintained environment. And I did capture video, if you recall my documentation on Sunday, where I went from Ontario to then I went to the Farmer Boys, where the entity kept the fake sun over that Farmer Boys. That's what you're going to remember. The entity kept that fake sun over me at the 150 East Holt. This is the San Bernardino County Public Health Clinics at 150 East Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California, adjacent to the museum, where I got up. You're talking about, what is that, 7:14, 7:26 a.m. I'm showing you the fake sun. This is all the same block. Okay, I'm literally capturing again another day, even later, going back to the Upland Public Library, which is the pattern. This is what I was dragging Fontana with. Documentation of what's impossible. You're capturing what is an entity that is identical. They're not separate. Fontana and Upland, Ontario, Chino, it's not separate. It's the same entity. It's the state of California. Tethered by what is that scientific fact of what is not possibly the sun, as I document in different cities and counties, showing you what is an identical behavioral pattern, an identical environment, and it's a scientific fact that that is not a naturally occurring environment, and that demonic environment is serving a criminal system. All right, and it is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring. It is state surveillance and terrorism, 8XCR552. And as I just captured this video right now, the entity is capturing, this is the light source that's over me at the same position, the same location where I was at on Sunday at 9:08 a.m. Approximately 9:07, 9:08 a.m. And the entity is keeping this light source over me at that same exact address where Southwest Airlines is group stalking, where the Ontario police are group stalking the people of the state, which includes Southwest Airlines as the people of the state. All right, and the entity is capturing, I am capturing the entity that is engaging in group stalking as I am here 3 hours later from 9:06, approximately 9:07 a.m. on Sunday, and the light source remains over me. And guess what? It's also not over the Upland Public Library, nor the Fontana Lewis Library, nor is it over the Chino Branch Library. This is not coexisting. There is no, with regard to possibility, with what are you going to try to claim? Oh, well, the sun is over all of these addresses. It's over and it wouldn't just be those addresses. You are engaging in conduct suggesting, which is suggestion of the impossible, because the actual sun is not remaining over everyone in its zenith for the duration of an entire day. But what else are you paying attention to? Because it's not just the fake sun. Where I'm documenting the entity stalking with the fake sun, I'm also documenting what is also an impossibility, this directed light conduct. Stalking and touching, molesting, terrorizing with directed light. What else are you paying attention to while I'm showing you what is not the actual sun, not possibly the sun? It is also the case that the entity is maintaining presence, flying directly over me, stalking, in other words, by planes and helicopters, where I'm showing you the entity is maintaining that which is not possibly the sun over me. What else are you paying attention to? It's because it's not just that. This is a pattern of conduct that is coexisting with ongoing hallmarks, speaking to the system that is underway. The entity is also maintaining amplified audible activity, which Union Pacific and Metrolink, they fully demonstrated for you. They also are engaging in what is the use of such methods of activity creation and massive relevant positioning. Demons riding on the Metrolink train. Okay, this is serving massive facilitation while also amplified audible activity in the engineered light under what is not possibly the sun. That's also what you're paying attention to. This is a pattern. And it's not just the fact, but let me be clear. It is the establishment of the prima facie case, that light source over me, or over you if you're establishing the P.O.C. But this light source, but it also coexists with in other words, the demonic activity of the people of the state. Demons stalk with light. You are witnessing the demonic activity while a light source that's not possibly the sun remains over me. This is stalking with light through the environment. What do you think is doing that? That is Satan. All right? And the demon possessed, puppets of Satan, they stalk with light as well. That's what the directed light is. And I have over 900 videos so you can witness what the demon possessed stalk with light, how the demon possessed stalk with light. It is referred to as exactly what it is: the perpetual sex offender, molesting you with directed light. Being present around you while you're being touched and surrounded with directed light. These are the aspects of the pattern of conduct that coexist with what is this fake sun, as I have termed it, based on what is the actual definition of this of the sun, of the conduct of the sun, the placement of the sun, the movement, the migration of the sun. There is precise terminology with reference to the sun. By the way, the sun being observed by any person on the ground, because that's where we are. We are located on the ground, and the sun is above us. An observation of the sun being in its zenith over your head is not something that is ubiquitously present. That is not the experience of every single last person in the entirety of the state of California, because that's how that my documentation is speaking to. Oh, it's not just me. That would be everyone, and that's impossible. That's impossible. And it's also not the case that the sun is maintaining its placement in its zenith over your head all day long, let alone over everyone's head in its zenith all day long, regardless of where you're going, what direction that you're going. And it is also not unique to being in Southern California in the area that I am in. It is also speaking to what is peculiar and to the exclusion of any other location having a sun anywhere in their sky space. That is literally outside of LA County, outside of the state. Okay? And that's only LA County because I have gone to Pomona. And so you're talking about, that's the day when you are getting the Pomona County, because there's only one sun. You are prosecuting based on what are scientific facts of what's supposedly the sun. Those same lies about the environment is how you're going to prosecute the government. The government that lies to you about the environment. Okay, well, that's not possibly the sun, and it's serving what is entirely malicious. That's not possibly the sun, and it is never in LA County, except for the days where I documented my presence in Pomona, and that light source remained specifically over my head. But I didn't stay in Pomona. I went right on back to San Bernardino County, to Fontana specifically, and that's where that light source remained over me. I also, the entity maintaining that light source while I'm en route from Los Angeles County, there's no time where that light source is remaining perpetually over Pomona while it's remaining over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library or the Upland Public Library. It's not maintaining presence at the same time mutually in that zenith over the roof of the Upland Public Library and the Fontana Lewis Library. It is not in any way remaining even over the property around the Ovid Family Community Library, as I have ventured out and documented the entity, documenting Ovid Family Community Library, serving for what is federal prison for Sean Thrasher and those state actors inside of that library while I go to different venues. I'm still documenting them because that's not the sun, and it is not over that light source. That light source is not the sun that, as I documented, being present at that venue, and it is not remaining present in perfect alignment with the Ovid Family Community Library while it's over said locations that I just mentioned. It's not coexisting. That is impossible. It is a reference to the demonic. It is really revealing the demonic. It is capturing the demonic. All right. And so that is also, it's not just the fake sun. It is also the demonic activity, the ongoing coexisting hallmarks under that fake sun, coexisting with that fake sun. And stalking with light does not stop at nightfall. Okay, so anyway, it's currently 12:18 p.m. and that's video that I captured at 12:09 p.m. And I'm specifically noting just as of late, and I'm just doing this because this is just ongoing continuous documentation. My documentation dates back, when I became aware of it, dates back to, as a matter of video documentation, October 15th, 2018. All right, where I'm capturing group stalking by Brightview in Los Angeles while I am on the job. I'm practicing law still, and I am documenting. I'm beginning to capture video because the people of the state, before I turned them that, they were just stalkers, they're weirdos, but they're capturing it on video what is stalking conduct, peculiar conduct by people that I do not even know. And I'm in a new area in Los Angeles. That's exactly when I started capturing video. I'm practicing law. I've gone to a new area, and they're doing this same weird conduct, maintaining presence all around me, staring at me while you're in a car in a parking lot. And this is not staring like some guy that wants to holler at me. No, this is weird, creepy conduct. And it's not unique. It is the equally creepy conduct that I was experiencing and witnessing and observing while I remained in San Bernardino County, traveling on the Metrolink to practicing law and doing property management. Again, I moved out of my apartment in Upland, California, from the threat that was living in my apartment, but my apartment is a third-party facilitating venue where I was subject to surveillance. All right, you have the government in my castle, not only by the minions, the demons who lived around me, but the demon that lived in my apartment with me, and that's Tracy Banks, engaging in what is an ongoing threat to my life. While I'm also subject to this while I'm at work, while I'm also at what is the organization of Sunrise Church, not a genuine church. They were monitoring in every aspect of my life. And as this threat was moving in more so, I opted to move out of the area, mindful of what it is that I'm observing, but still not reacting. I'm just going to take my law license and go on about my business because I paid my dues. You know, I should, and any person, especially being in the United States, supposedly, you know, this is the American dream. And I got my education and I paid my dues and I'm a licensed attorney and I can go practice law anywhere. And so that's what I did. I packed up my car, moved out of my apartment, and I went to Los Angeles, a brand new area that I'm not familiar with. I'm not from LA. I don't live out there. I don't, you know, but I worked out there a little bit just with the law firms, and I went right on back to San Bernardino County. I don't know about LA like that. I don't fraternize with, I don't know anyone out there. And so, only professional ties, in other words, that I had. And so while I regrouped in this new area, living in my car, working in Los Angeles at the courthouses where, by the way, those are state facilitating venues. They're monitoring me. The people of the state, there's no attorney-client privilege. The people of the state that were working with the law offices of Michael Bailes and engaging in what is group stalking in concert with the state via a criminal case that they sought to have me represent them in, there's no privilege there. They were engaging in criminal conduct. They were engaging in what is surveillance by people and doing so to that extent while I'm representing them in a criminal case. And the court's monitoring. It's an entire literal circus as you're understanding the P.O.C. that's underway while I'm a practicing attorney. All right. And this is the conduct of a psychopath. All right. So this is the history. And so I started capturing video as early as what is October 15, 2018. And this entity that's monitoring knows exactly what I'm capturing on video, knows exactly what I'm observing. You have what is the entity that is engaging in what is the Los Angeles Police Department. And that was the icing on the cake. Oh, I know you're stalking now. Okay. And that is entirely terrorizing while you are coming to this realization, while you are being targeted by an entity, while law enforcement is stalking you. And they are demonstrating that it's literally an admission while they are waging allegations that they have there's no human possibility that they would know that. And that is based on the facts, and I've laid that out in my documentation already. And it is also coexisting with what was already a pattern that I observed, and I documented on video May 23rd, 2018. That is literally the pattern of conduct that's underway. Fake sun over my head at my apartment, summoning the Upland Police, okay? But again, I don't know this yet. I'm documenting it, but I'm aware of the very peculiar conduct, and I started documenting it, and it is a terrorizing threat while you are aware of this stalking conduct by law enforcement and by absolute strangers, and that's exactly what it is. So anyway, it's currently 12:22 p.m. And I am at the same bus stop where I was at yesterday at 10:30 in the morning, which again, yesterday I was documenting my presence at this same bus stop where I was at 8:30 in the morning, where I'm already on both 2 days. Today with regard to yesterday and the day before yesterday, I was already inside of the Upland Public Library. Okay, this is what is the pattern of conduct. And it is directly relevant because what you're looking at again is you're remaining cognizant of what I captured. The entity this is demonic activity. This is real-time control while Satan is sitting back and observing everything that I'm revealing about it, which is also futile. It is speaking to what shall in no way be any preclusion to the establishing of the prima facie case by any American citizen who is prosecuting the government for placing you under surveillance and engaging in terrorism in the U.S. Because I'm showing you what is a pattern of the entity. The fake sun remains over me. It was absolutely impossible, the fact that it was over my head while I was at Mercy House, and then I walked down the street and it's directly over my head remaining there, and it is engaging in what is covering it up. All right? As I cross the street, immediately shining it over my head in the same way. And it's, okay, you're talking about what's not the sun under any circumstances. It is not in any way demonstrating that you're not trying to hide the environment. The entity is already engaged in that, and there's no point to be proven when you are stalking with a light source. I don't know what there's nothing to make any point of that is valid, that is legally relevant with regard to what is nothing other than a concession that you are indeed a demon-possessed entity engaging in what is group stalking, while you then reveal your fake sun that remains over me, regardless whether the entity is covering it up or showing it. So like I said, that prima facie case is already established, and this is relevant to what is the entity's tactics to obstruct justice. And I'm revealing that as well because an entity that is, the targeted individual, the American citizen, the ordinary targeted individual that is documenting the pattern of conduct, the entity engages in such tactics. And let me be clear, it does not change. When you are capturing the demonic, first of all, it doesn't change on the next day. It doesn't change 30 minutes later. Satan has a very short memory. Okay, you literally just engaged in what was Star Trek on the bus, How the hell is this light activity? And then you're going to walk into the bathroom like you're separate. This is what I mean by literally you're delusional, and you're going to prosecute for that, because that delusional conduct, that's a threat. That psychopath is stalking you. Okay, you're stalking with helicopters, and then you're engaging in what is presence in all manner of this demonic environment, and then and this is the conduct that the entity is engaging in through the people of the state. They are showing themselves to be the unbalanced, dangerous psychopaths that they are. Okay, that's all that's revealing. You are not normal. Everything about what you're doing and the form that you sought to maintain, you lost all of that. 48134T2. You are literally a psychopath. You are an entire demon, and you are stalking as the government, and you're doing it in plain sight. And there is nothing normal about the way in which you would like to present yourself. That's Satan. Okay, and that's what I'm capturing while you're looking at the faces of these demons, while you're looking at them standing, sitting around, conversation. They're psychopaths. All right, but that's okay, because you're not doing that. You're not going to document because Satan needs to approve what it is. It doesn't matter. Satan's not going to like going to federal prison. Satan's not going to like going into mental wards in straitjackets. Not going to like that either. Okay, but it's going to happen, and it's based on the conduct that it engages in. Okay, and that conduct is befitting. All right, you're going to analyze. You're going to prosecute like you would any other individual threat that's stalking you, an individual. But this is not an individual. It's the government. It's the people of the state. It is a population. And so as a matter of justice, you are not going to change the way in which law is traditionally analyzed, the ways in which you would consider any other criminal act. It is even worse. It's exacerbated. It is a matter of justice. It's a matter of necessity that the government is is subject to the same penalties that would apply to a psychopath that's acting just one freak, that's engaging in stalking and sexual violence and demented conduct. You would haul them off to the mental ward, and you would never let them out. Okay? So you're talking about what is not going to change with regard to that analysis of the conduct, the objective conduct, the objective criminal activity. That's what you're analyzing. So anyway, it's currently 12:27 p.m. and this is P.O.C. I am at what is the Holt Boulevard and Euclid Avenue intersection, where I was at 10:30, and I got on the bus, and you saw, as a matter of documentation, 10:47 a.m. while I'm on the Route 83 headed toward the venue that I was already inside of the day prior to that. But nonetheless, again, today I'm already inside of the library, and I'm capturing at 12:09 p.m., 12:08 p.m. at the same venue, 150 East Holt. That's right next to, look at a map. This is adjacent to the Ontario Museum. You could see the sign in that video that I captured. That is speaking to what is not the presence of the sun under no circumstances. It's an ongoing, consistent analysis, because it is a ceaseless pattern of conduct. It is stalking with light. It is revealing, again, the condition of those that are present in that demonic environment. They're demons. All right, license 8KMP520. It is revealing the system of surveillance. Student transportation 7HOD457. And it is 12:28 p.m. where that light source is remaining over me at the same bus stop. This is P.O.C. License 8WNK373, 8LFK727, 0536, 3F1. 8DES219, 8RFW372, 6BJA506, 7VSV511, 8TBP931, City of Ontario crossing path, 6Z87584, 22970X1, MA23AO, 8ZQG 575, 8SCM951, 1464539 is City of Ontario, vehicle 8047. 4GALMP. KZL 796, molesting while I'm on the bus, being driven by Omnitrans employee number 3050, and it's 12:36 p.m. I did get on the bus immediately after capturing my video at 12:30 p.m. of what is the necessarily fake sun that remains over me at the same bus stop that I was at 10:30 in the morning. And I got on the bus and I went to Upland Public Library, and I went inside of the Upland Public Library, and I remained until after 6:30 p.m. In the same bus stop that I'm at the day before yesterday, where I left that bus stop at 8:30 in the morning, and I went to the Upland Public Library where I was at as of 9:08 a.m. and I entered that library at approximately 10 o'clock, and I remained inside of the open public library until after 6 p.m. This is that same bus stop where I captured the light source over me at 12:30 p.m. So this is molestation by that third party, and these are the same demons that I'm showing you in video. That's the sexual conduct by these demons who molest and surround with directed light. It is demonic activity by those who are stalking with light, in the same way that you are witnessing in an environment where a light source remains over my head. 8 SAB 728. 8 SAB 2278, I believe. Can't really see that. 5 KIB 505 2867181 5 CCE 989. And it's 12:38 p.m. $93A1A05 FDW239 is a front license plate. They got an Arizona license plate on the back. 77813J1. Six 702-583. M2. $8XLV029. GK448 handicap. $5K LS271 molesting and doing so while this underage man is on the bus. This underage overweight minion is group stalking, getting on the bus, and then molesting with light while these demons are driving around the bus, molesting on the light. Excuse me, molesting me while I'm on the bus. 7ZST832. 8FO8T27 has that's a paper plate. CNECTD. 5K LS271 is maintaining presence in front of the bus with hazard lights on, and so is the vehicle in front of that one. That is group stalking conduct. They're stalking with light. We're at 5th Street and Euclid Avenue. 5GRN 950 0046 V1, I believe. Can't really see that whole plate. 51696T1 6HSP 397. License 8WXT142 is also group stalking with their hazard lights in front of the bus. 74326P1 09324K1 00464V1. That's the correct license. 8TBB 899, I believe. 8YTS 958. Four 5671 P2 7U86842. 8H20109. The 8H28783, stalking with light. 72975B3. 516961, in case I did not read that one already. XZN033. Four XEW 701. Six PVY. I can't really see the rest of them. You could scratch that one.
Stop requested. If possible, please use your
7XVU196. It's 12:44 p.m. That is bus 1218, license 1234546. And it is 12:45 p.m. That was operated by employee number 3050. And I'm arriving at the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue, getting off of that bus, route 83, going northbound. License 7HBR 306, 7KKA 711. This is an African-American female wearing a red scarf on her head, crossing path 8UFS 875, 8FPA 873, 8JAK 394. And I believe you have the employee that went and got in his vehicle that I've documented many a times. And I'll remind you of that license plate, whether that minion drives off or not. This is the minion that works at the 7-Eleven, getting in his vehicle, group stalking. 8KUB 457, monitoring while, let me be clear. First of all, group stalking in the car wash. That's like being in a drive-thru. Group stalking, maintaining presence around the venue. That's what a demon is doing right now. Also, monitoring with Metrolink, which is amplified audible activity. It's 12:46 p.m. All right, license 10490B3. 8JAK 39. Oh, I read that one already. Yeah, I read those. They're still maintaining presence. Rider is group stalking at Euclid and 9th Street. And also you have what is UniFirst, Chafee Joint, Union High School, and license 8XET911. This is the Caucasian male. He works at the venue. 8DYT604. He is in his vehicle group stalking in the parking lot. 7VJN049. All I wanna do. Oh, it's 12:52 p.m. Sorry. License 8ETP516. Group stalking with the entity that's also sounding helicopter activity. I'm walking north past what is the third-party facilitating venue first. Let me get this congregation of minions. The Upland First United Methodist Church, a third-party facilitating venue, and the entity is sounding helicopter activity, which is also facilitation. Audible activity creation, fake sun remains over my head. License 7ZDP94L, 8JUL164, 7UJF092, 7CYE820, SALM274, I believe. 6FYB004, NRSESAY, 8SVD727, 5TUL072, 8VKT. I can't really see the rest of them. 7MXV452. 7UNG277. This minion is group stalking in front of the 326 American Alliance Drug Testing and the Law Office, Western States Trucking Association, the address 334 Euclid Avenue and 342 Euclid Avenue. You can see this demon maintaining presence. He's just on foot. Fake sun is over my head while I'm walking the sidewalk north of Euclid Avenue, which is not over the Upland Public Library, by the way. 7GWR366, 6YGD415, 8JCX968, I believe, 8KKY066, 8FB2261, 1517350, Chaffee Joint Union High School. That's just a demon driving a school bus. And another one, 1497501, demons driving school bus is 7KYF146. 1505328, City of Upland. 9AFP179. 26515V1. 8T22259. 8BUZ780. 8RGP390. C184N1. 8CBA195. 8RGP014, 7VCB. I can't really see the rest of them. 8JRF477. And the entity covering up its fake sun that was in no way stationary, maintaining presence already in the city of Upland over the address of 450 North Euclid Avenue, which is the case while I'm inside of that address, of that venue, where I'm subject to surveillance based on the time that I'm present inside of that facilitating venue, where all manner of that environment is maintaining presence around me. To the contrary, the entity is engaging in what is conduct of covering up its fake sun, and then upon my presence inside of that venue, fake sun takes its position, arriving as I arrive and filling the venue with what is directed light. That's the pattern. Alrighty, so the capturing both before I started going to Fontana Lewis Library the past month, that was never the sun. And that's the point. It was never the case that from day one that I captured the light source over the Fontana Lewis Library. That was an impossibility. This is not just establishing the pattern. I already established it a long time ago. This is a consistent documentation. There is no mistake. There is no possible coincidence. There is no anomaly. All right. There is no possibility that this is anything other than what I have revealed it to be. But it's also serving for service to the masses, even outside of the state of California and outside of this country, because, and the country that I'm in is in the United States, because this is demonic activity. Satan is real. Satan is engaging in very specific conduct, which is relevant to the times that we are in. Satan is a very real entity, whether you want to refer to that as just evil, negative energy, whatever vagaries you want to apply to that, it's real. And it is, with regard to the constitutional rights that American citizens in this country maintain, it's in violation of existing federal law. And so this demonic activity is serving a criminal purpose. This demonic activity is capable of being capsulated, if you will, into what is the ways in which you would prosecute any other sex offender that's touching you, that's stalking you, that is monitoring you, and doing it literally on the unprecedented grounds of in concert and on behalf of a government. And so that's what's relevant to what I'm revealing. And so this is why you have what is not the sun that's already in the city of Upland, which would be the case. If it's already, we can go before Upland. If that's the sun that's over the Open Family Community Library all day, which by virtue of stating that, making that statement, that's not the sun, but nonetheless, all right, you're talking about what is an ongoing pattern. If this is some weird conduct that say that was a sun, I would never have any documentation that's of any value at Fontana and Pomona and Chino and Upland. Because that is exclusive, and it's not going to be over the roof of the Upland Public Library or the Fontana Lewis Library or the Chino Branch Library, aiming light into those venues. And those are just the libraries. I'm talking about what is Mercy House. This is very specific with regard to what is literally that object in its zenith over my head, aiming light into all sides around a particular venue. Well, then that's the case. Okay. Well, then I'll go somewhere else and I'll show you what is stalking with light. Even though as I remain at that venue, it's an impossibility because the sun is not engaging in maintaining presence all around and aiming light for the duration of a day into a single address. This is stalking with light. This is the conduct of Satan. This is the conduct of the demon possessed. Those with the spirit of Satan on them. All right. And their whole masquerade, this whole criminal enterprise, has been made manifest for your knowledge and also for prosecutorial purposes. All right, it is in violation of existing federal law. It's interstate stalking. It's a violation of Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. The state of California is engaging in what is surveillance. They're monitoring with communication devices, they being the people of the state. That is their legal identification when they are subject to what is a uniform prosecution. All right, and doing so while the state of California is also to be prosecuted, making history with regard to what is a sex offender. Guess what? The sex offender is the state. That's exactly how you're going to prosecute a government. All right. And it's relevant to making public and widely known what the United States government is doing in its country, contrary to how this government is portraying itself on the world stage. And let me be clear, how the government in the U.S. is portraying itself on the world stage is directly relevant to the stance that we have in the world, to what are alleged alliances that we maintain, to what is the stature that we maintain with regard to the ability to exert any sort of power and influence on the world stage. So I want to be clear, there are implications beyond what it is that I'm documenting right now. And this is just with regard to little old me in the state of California. But little old me, I am an American citizen and I have rights that are under the Constitution that are very real, regardless of the government and the people of the state that are defecating all over it. All right. And they're doing it under the highest form of malice. The government is doing it through the very people that are also citizens. Some of those that are not natural born citizens are subject to what is deportation. And that's a matter of what is just standard policy with regard to federal group stalking and monitoring. All right. It is the quintessential demonstration of unworthiness to be in this country, and you shall not remain. And there's no excuse for any exception from that. All right. You're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. You're not even a natural born citizen. You are out of here. OK, period. We have enough demons in the country, as my documentation shows. OK, it's literally a problem. And it's a problem because you're talking about what's criminal conduct by a demon possessed population. They want to violate your rights. They want to live in what is literally a fantastical, made up, cartoon like environment that they're stalking you with while you're subject to surveillance by them. All right. And them are puppets of Satan itself. This is Satan keeping tabs on you. What Satan is doing, which is demonic, it's demonic activity amongst the people, amongst the government. It is criminal under federal law. And so with that in mind, the entity concealing its fake sun, as I get off the bus, keeping it the entire time over my head, the light source, which is not the sun, is not already present in Upland while I'm on a bus approaching and showing you video while it's from that van. No, the fake sun remains over my head, not over the Upland Public Library. It remains over me as I arrive, engaging in what is covering it up. And then as I'm arriving at the venue, the entity is engaging in filling that venue, and it's entirely satanic while an entity does that. And that's a matter of what is documentation, and that's the pattern. Okay, so it's currently 1:02 p.m. This is P.O.C. walking in right now on cameras. And I'll show you what is directed light that fills the venue. Impossible light activity. While the light source was not already here, while I'm showing you this at Mercy House, while I'm showing you this at the bus stop, while I'm showing you this at the 150 East Hall Boulevard, and then the light source is directly over the roof, and this is directed light aiming downward inside of the venue. It's 1:03 p.m. Alrighty, this is documentation of what is federal group stalking and monitoring in the bathroom. This is the sexually violent pattern of conduct that is remaining underway while this government that is stalking as a people, engaging in demonic conduct of stalking with what is light, is also engaging in what is molestation as an entity, touching all over me while you're filling the venue with what is directed light for purposes of keeping me under surveillance. This sex offender is also engaging in surveillance as a people. That means the demons that are in traffic, the demons that are in the Upland City Hall, in the parking lot, at the Molly Super, that are maintaining presence inside and outside the venue, are engaging in massive surveillance in planes and helicopters, as is documented before I got here, at that ongoing P.O.C. underway inside of a bathroom. This is P.O.C. It's invasion of privacy by an entity engaged in federal stalking. It's 1:04 p.m. All right, these are demons that are pacing around. This is particularly employees. You could see this overweight minion walking in directed light while she's pacing back and forth and slamming doors in engineered light. That's the P.O.C. It's audible activity, relevant positioning, and stalking in the light, in the directed light. It's 1:05 p.m. Alrighty, and with that, you can see while I'm standing inside of the Upland Public Library at the circulation desk, The fake sun is right there above my head as I stand there at that circulation desk. I want to also document that's what these demons are doing while I'm inside of the bathroom. They are pacing around in engineered light, engaging in audible activity, which is amplified in the bathroom. These demons pacing around, slamming doors, which is amplified noise inside of the bathroom. All right, that's how they engage in that sexually violent pattern of conduct while they're placing under surveillance in a bathroom. It is 1:06 p.m. and I just captured that light source that is directly over my head, which would be over D Street, in order to have that vantage point where I'm standing inside on the first floor, and that light source is directly over my head while I am standing at that circulation desk, and I just checked out the Dell laptop, which is also on surveillance cameras. This is P.O.C. That's relevant to what you were listening to. Slamming of the doors, audible activity, pacing around, walking in that engineered light. They're demons engaging in an ongoing specific P.O.C. And they're all sitting around group stalking inside of a library. This is surveillance by the people at what is state facilitating venue up in public library. It's 1:07 p.m. This is P.O.C. Amplification of audible activity. A group stalker with high heels. This is a tactic for audible activity while a demon is crossing path in the bathroom. Directed light fills the venue, and this is a demon and also what is a third party representing an entire entity that is stalking in a bathroom. It's 3:21 p.m. In the same way that you heard in the study room, surrounding with what is audible activity while they're engaging in what is activity creation in what is a bathroom. This is also demonic activity in a bathroom, entirely demented and sexually perverted. Activity creation. That's why fake sun's over the venue and directed light fills the venue. The faucet, the dryer, the toilet paper roll, this is a demon. And a sex offender by virtue of engaging in this conduct in a bathroom, stalking. Amplified audible activity. Those are the employees that work at the Upland Public Library, those demons that are prancing around in directed light, and also the demons that enter the male's restroom engaging in that same conduct. This is monitor. And she goes back and flushes the toilet again. This is P.O.C. This is the state of California that's group stalking in bathrooms. Demons pacing in and out and in and out and in and out. The obsessed psychopath that is stalking by helicopter, this is the entity that's in a bathroom stalking you. These are the elements of monitoring. This is the entity falling into the bathroom to maintain those elements. And you can see the directed light that demon is walking in while she is exiting and coming in the bathroom is activity creation. It's a sex offender that's engaging in invasion of privacy by an entity, and doing so while they are also engaging in what is invasion of privacy. These are demons that also know, a government that also knows what's going on. You're invading the privacy, and then you're coming in to engage in what is ongoing monitoring. And it's also terrorism while this is demonic activity that they're entering inside of a bathroom to engage in, okay? It's 3:24 p.m. That's Upland Public Library employees and the demons that are of the male gender, slamming doors, which is amplified audible activity, impossible audible activity of what is reminiscent of the sound of the elevator, impossible audible activity of what is the sound of what is reminiscent of toilet cycling, water cycling through the walls. It's audible activity surrounding. And then the demons are pacing in and out, flushing the toilet, using the hand dryer, washing their hands. They're demons that are stalking. All right, this is documentation of what is, again, this is sexual violence while an entity is stalking in a bathroom. That's what that is. It's 3:24 p.m. and they're all sitting around witnessing me prosecute them on the public stage, which is the internet. I'm getting ready to publish that momentarily. It's already on YouTube. It's 3:24 p.m. P.O.C. 7 PLT 155, 7 PWS 162, 9 AKR 441, 44830W1, 8 HYG 376, 8 VVH 322, 7 BCG 052, 7 8415 P1, 7 PXW 083, 8L, I can only see that when you touch on, 7 DHK 742, 2642, 6P2, 42229V2. This is a demon. License plate is D876LO. That's amplified audible activity. It is 6:44 p.m. Exiting the facility, venue. It is 6:44 p.m. and I'm exiting the Upland Public Library, where the light source is not in alignment with the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue, which is where I'm inside capturing that video at 6:36 p.m. The entity kept the fake sun in alignment with me as I exit the Upland Public Library, which is north of that venue at 204 North Euclid Avenue, but is on the same exact street, and the entity is stalking with light. The people of the state are group stalking. This is P.O.C, and it's 6:45 p.m. 7WLN 826. 7UZV 858. 6TFU 766. 8VYJ 869, that's a demon. 73739K2. 8PDT 237. 8HMU 615. 8YQR 902. 78317F3, that's a demon. 7NHX 960. CTL 8993 Arizona. 8ZBA 331. 8BVK 483. That's criminal summoning. San Bernardino County Fire, that's the Upland District, stalking with audible activity. 8BES 599 sirens immediately sound as I capture what is a picture of the fake sun that is in alignment with me at the neighborhood Smiling Dental Care. It's right there over that venue. As I take that picture, those demons that are stalking in relevant position under a fake sun all day long are then sounding sirens. This is the fire department. I'll get this license, hold on. See, 1577081. Again, that's license 1577081. The second that they pass me by, the siren stop. That's what you're listening to. And I took a picture of what is the fake sun right here in alignment with me while they are crossing paths with me. They begin sounding sirens. This is audible activity under the fake sun and engineered light. They begin sounding sirens the moment that I take the picture. That is literally the timestamp, coexisting with what is my podcast of what is criminal summoning. Let me be clear that it's federal prison for those demons of that fire department while they are facilitating and engaging in what is group stalking. This is terrorism. and it is also interstate stalking by the state acting directly and in concert with the minions that are the people of the state acting vicariously. And they are also, let me be clear, that same ongoing knowledge, that same demonic activity underway while demons are pacing in and out of that bathroom, as I documented inside of the bathroom today at the Upland Public Library. All right, so I just want to speak to, this is an ongoing pattern of conduct. It is ongoing knowledge that is maintained, ongoing obsessive stalking conduct. That obsession does not stop or make a pause while my panties are down inside of the bathroom, where the Upland District, the San Bernardino County Fire Department Upland District, is a sex offender engaging in sexually violent predatory conduct, monitoring with the demons who are pacing in and out of doors around the bathroom, demons creating amplified audible activity, that is, while my genitalia is exposed, while I'm engaged in private activity inside of a private space, serving for criminal monitoring with communication devices in concert with the state of California, that which Upland Fire Department demonstrated and engaged in right now, and is also not the first time. But I'm speaking to, they are directly engaged in that pattern of conduct that I am ceaselessly subject to, and that I'm also documenting, and that I documented today in the bathroom. They're not just monitoring me now on the sidewalk, they're monitoring me while I'm in the bathroom. They're sex offenders. Right? License 49674D3, 5ZXN321. And the position, everything's going to pay attention to. First of all, my presence in Chino, California. That light source is never going to be over this neighborhood smiling dental in alignment with me at that time where I'm capturing this light source while the demons of the San Bernardino County Fire Department are group stalking. Second of all, my presence at that neighborhood smiling, where you see that light source right there over that venue in perfect alignment with me. You see my enlarged shadow, it's elongated. I'm being molested with what is engineered light. That is impossible to be the case for the light source, because that's not the sun. You're talking about what is over the same exact street, Euclid Avenue, where I'm up at this street 9 o'clock in the morning just the other day, okay? But that's at the Upland Public Library. But at 8:30, I get on the bus of Route 83, and I arrive at the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California. I arrived there, made a purchase, captured video of the entity engaging in absolutely demonic conduct, group stalking, at 8:53 in the morning. There is absolutely no legal argument that can ever be proffered with regard to addressing what is impossible light, because it is unnatural. It is a scientific fact that is not the sun. That would not be the sun. That could never be the sun. And that's also what logically follows, is that is not sunlight. Not with regard to what is naturally supposed to occur with regard to our environment as it is defined for us, right? 98PZ610, as we learn about it, supposedly, based on scientific facts, allegedly. 8PES682. All right, so while I'm capturing that, while I'm inside of the 7-Eleven yesterday in Upland, California, which is south of that location of the neighborhood Smiling Dental, where I'm being molested, and that light source is in perfect alignment with me, north of the 7-Eleven at 8:36 a.m. I'm inside of that 7-Eleven. I'm in a specific aisle, and you have what is light that's aiming into that. That is also impossible. While it's over the dental office, aiming light squarely, the entity is engaging in what is impossible. It's not going to be light that's ever piercing through the 7-Eleven through a window into the aisles, but let alone while it is in perfect alignment over that venue. Okay, the light source itself is not an ongoing perpetual laser, if you will. The entity engages in this conduct with light such that the light source is some sort of object that is aiming light like I would say an infinitely spanning ruler of light. Okay, and by ruler I mean like a band of light. Like light is everywhere. Light is shooting into everything, everywhere you are at the same time, especially, and that's exactly the pigeonhole that the entity is placed in as I document what it's doing with light, that which is impossible. All right, you are forced into literally revealing what it is that you're doing, and it's absolutely impossible what the entity is engaging in with regard to what is stalking within environment, and it's revealing the demonic. 9AKF280. And so, in other words, while the light object itself, the totality of that light object, all right, it's not some humongous glaring ball. It's in direct alignment with me. It's directly over the building of the neighborhood Smiling Dental And that is not reaching across to 9th Street. It's right there over that building. It's not at the intersection of 9th Street. It's not in alignment with the 7-Eleven. It's not even touching. It's not reaching south enough to be in alignment with the parking lot of that 7-Eleven. But again, I am already at that 7-Eleven yesterday at 6:36 p.m. and then I'm at the bus stop. The entity is keeping the light source. In other words, that's just another vantage point where you're understanding what is impossible light that I am capturing, while at the same time the entity is stalking with audible activity. The method was sirens, 6UFK652. Stalking with activity that is occurring with simultaneity to my operation of my communication device as I change functions, as I take a picture of what is the third-party facilitating venue, First United Methodist Church of Upland, California, nothing other than a meeting place for demons. All right, criminal conduct underway there. It's nothing but a facilitating venue. It's not a genuine church. And you are also aware that by what is this demonic conduct that is occurring on those unholy grounds by those who congregate at that venue and those that are gathering at that venue engaging in what is together satanic conduct. It's not a church in every regard. And also you have what is the entity that is engaging in this conduct as I'm pointing out these details with regard to, let alone being present on the street of Euclid Avenue all day long. That's not the sun. But also, I am in other cities. Literally, I am in Fontana, California. Not going to be over some neighborhood smiling dental building. Not touching my person with light while it is aiming light directly into the library. While I'm on Owen Street and Mango in Fontana, California, and it's aiming light in perfect alignment with me on that street. While I'm inside of the Chino Branch Library at 6:38 p.m. I've captured these times as what are examples speaking to what is stalking with light, what is impossible to coexist, to occur at the same time. 6GGG374. And so all of this is speaking to what is stalking with light. And 6WPA394 is monitoring. Crossing path, studying that phone while he's crossing path, group stalking. License 5LBT995. And so the entity is engaging in what is this conduct, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring. It's also known as, AKA, this is group stalking. All right, I have named it what is appropriate with regard to what is a criminal conduct, what is the demonic activity, and what is a state system. Hence the term federal group stalking and monitoring. It's a violation of federal law. It is a system of what is group stalking. It's a system in operation by a government, the public entity, and the public entity is practicing a satanic targeting system, 18549C3. All right, and so it's currently 6:55 p.m. I wanted to go through, rattle all of that down with regard to what I just documented. It's criminal summoning. And American Medical Response was right behind the San Bernardino County Fire Department. That was the Upland District. 8TDB471. And it's 6:55 p.m. 8WRF65. 7MTD161. EVOLT1. 7PSJ888. 6GDZ143. ESCLIFE. 7YPW137. 8ZKH101. 17684U2. 8XHF454. 79398A3. 8NSU564. LEBERI. 8YBY903, 8AQY888, 8AQY888. XUS 325, 8PNU 802, 8VDH070, 8DSM548, 8HOD782. And it is 6:57 p.m. Seven R25295. 8UOH400, 8XNB432. 8TGJ493, 8GTU731. One demon after another driving in directed light, 8 PMH 606. Stalking. Directed light, conduct of stalking with directed light, stalking, driving around in what is just inexplicable light that which is impossible. This is the revealing of what are the demon possessed, and they are literally stalking, driving around in cars, stalking. This is how Satan is engaging in demonic activity in the year 2022. All right, it's 6:58 p.m. Getting on Omnitrans now. 7YKL 349. HZX 897. SOCALP1. 5CVR 918. 7NXS 679. 7XJS 636. 6NBS 548 or 648, I believe. It's 7:01 p.m. Eight YVJ 172. 7WNR 839. 8XRC 225. 6BLE. I can't even see the rest of them. TEBEN Heart S 6NET 880. 1LOVE 08. 8BLU 663. 7B60194. 8CTK 521, in case I didn't read that one already. 8WYB 401. 7CMG 343. 18171K3. 7XEV 704. 3XEZ 675. 8R29461. 8ZAS 327. 7RGJ 756. 8SKM 959. 41035B2. 8VHD 897. CC61T87 paper. 7XEU 335. 24K 4927.
Stop requested. If possible, please use reinforce.
Sí. Vamos a escuchar la puerta, no la espera.
29236G3, I believe. 7CVJ285. 77258C3. Eight WPV 344. 29236G3 is correct. Seven PJZ 595. 8 ZAS 327. In case I did not read that one already. 8 U.S.C 610. 43100703. 8 ZQS 163. 5VPJ 407. 207 ST handicap. Directed light all over Chevron, all over the Arco, all over the Papa John's. This is how an entity is stalking with light, by the way. This is how an entity engages in it. This is identification of facilitating venues. 8NEF 425. Stalking with light in the path. 7TBB 568. 8SSM 137. 8YGL 298, directed light all over the Wells Fargo. And while the entity is keeping this light source in alignment with me in Upland, California, it is not in alignment with the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library, as though the sun is setting inside or visible through the inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. It is moving as I move in alignment with this bus, which is keeping in alignment with the same street that I'm documenting early in the morning, which is out of conformity with what would be the sun that's remaining over the Fontana Lewis Library, which under no circumstances would be visible while I'm in Chino, California, let alone directly over my head and remaining for the duration of the day. This is documentation of what is the P.O.C. and directed light is all over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. That's the Ontario Senior Housing Parter at 280 North Lemon in Ontario, California. The Ovid Family Community Library at 215 East C Street in Ontario, California. Wells Fargo at 240 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. The county building, San Bernardino County Public Health Clinics, where the fake sun was over me. This morning, you have what's supposedly sunlight that's still hitting on that building, while the sun is still in perfect alignment, while it's also over the entrance, in front of the entrance of the Euclid, at Upland, and off of Euclid at the Upland Public Library, and then moves southbound. So that is speaking to what is just keeping light all over everything. It's directed light, it's not the sun, and it's identification of facilitating venues. And it's all over the place. This is speaking to what is state surveillance. Okay? It is 7:08 p.m. Getting off at Getting off at, this is Route 83, so I'm getting off, at Euclid and Holt Boulevard right now. Alrighty, now this is bus 1269 and license plate 1399983. And they are loitering in relevant position, maintaining light on the with the bus, light activity. 8XLS 408, 6HWY 209, 5SJA 355, 8VIC 403. 62656F2. And that bus was operated by what is a Latino male. I did not see an employee number. License plate 59521N1, 8XFN380, 6JCK655, 6JCK645, 8, I think I read that one, 7UJC696, 8RUG723, 8WEN483, U111XL, 7ZVW101, 6JZX059, 8ULM588, 6MIN655, 3REKLAW, that's hooked on towing. License 37401N1. 5XR B446. 6ANX 761, excuse me. 8XWG 139. 8FDB 199, 8DTE 570, 8SEA 507, 65589V1, 7XXD 182. 5X, oh, I read that one already. 5XXB 446, 6JJY 353, 6HCB 176, 7KKY 233, BU 74YL3 paper, 5UMX 669, 8XSU 646, 7PNC 191, 14. I can't really see that one. Let's try that one. I think I read all of those already. And Ontario Police Group Stalking and Directed Light, which is covering 150 East Holt Building. I just took a picture of that. 7CJP 013. That's vehicle 1015. That's a male driving that vehicle, driving south on Euclid Avenue and proceeding west on Holt Boulevard at 7:11 p.m. last evening, yesterday, as I captured group stalking by the Ontario Police at the same exact time. Right, I had just gotten off Omnitrans, and it's at 7:11 p.m. I published this video, and you will pay attention. It is on my website. That's where you can see it very clearly in HD. Even if you need to slow it down, that's a demon group stalking. And while that police vehicle turns, that is while that demon is operating that vehicle and crossing path. Directed light is turning, well, I don't want to say turning. Directed light is going in the same direction that that demon is turning that vehicle, that police vehicle. It is white, light gray colored directed light. It's impossible light activity. It's in the direction that the vehicle is driving. That is, in other words, a demon manifesting light while they are crossing path with me. And that is, again, at 7:11 p.m. at the same exact intersection. Ontario Police are routinely engaged in the pattern of conduct. It's demonic activity, and that's the same P.O.C. 65589V1, 7XXD182, 6H86244, 6GEG074, 8F92664, 7BCG883, 8KTK697, 7F54960, 5ZMF208, 8JTJ834. Alrighty, and 7MUR904. These are all demons as well. License 8HQM016. These are demons that are going to be prosecuted for what's terrorism while they are engaging what is interstate stalking, currently in violation of federal law, all right, and doing it with the government, on behalf of the government. 5WZA646. License plate. Woo, this toothless demon, license 8UKL683, engaging in the P.O.C. terrorism and group stalking with a minor, in custody of a minor in that vehicle. That's a Jeep. It's a Latina female. It is 7:13 p.m. 7AEB671, 7HUE336, yeah, 8EOJ368, 8XVP915, 8GAZ974, 7BIX273, 6JAT482, Papa John's 8YVZ, I can't really see that one, you can scratch that one. 84505L2, that is American towing. They're engaged in un-American conduct. That's what they're calling their company, though. Those are demons operating that vehicle, and that's, again, that's like calling building a church. It's just what those minions are calling it. It doesn't actually mean anything whatsoever. So anyway, 8EMJ233, 7TLW450, 8BPT007, 8WPB804, 5BWS947, 7HQY529, 6ALA024, 8PFC777, 7RPT338, AROCKX2, 4RQL855, DLCRUZ2, 7MLD956, 7, I'm going to get in the street, read this one, 7MLD956, FEDEER. It's 7:15 p.m. and I have arrived at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is P.O.C.